Hello everyone, in this video I'm going to try to beat DeAnima by escaping within, I don't know, hopefully within 40 minutes or less. And that is not going to be easy, because even for me, who obviously as the developer I know pretty much everything there is to know about the game, but yeah, I'm going to apply a few rules. I mean, even knowing everything, it's still very hard. I die a lot more than I succeed, and I've only beat it a few times. So yeah, it's a roguelike, so it's meant to be challenging, and that's a big part of the fun. But just to make it a bit more interesting, seeing as though I do have a bit of an advantage, I'm going to apply a couple of rules. So the first rule is that I will not intentionally reveal any spoilers outside of normal gameplay. So obviously there are going to be a few spoilers in this, because I'm playing the game through to the end of the... It's not the end, there's various different ways to end the game, various different endings, but the most common, and the one that you'll do first, is to escape the dungeon after getting down to floor 10, finding the crown, and then escaping. So that's kind of like the meat of the game, in the sense that the game is kind of designed to be played in one session. You can save, but it's not like a normal save system. I'll explain that while I'm playing. So aside from not spoiling anything in that way, the other conditions that I'm going to apply is that I'm going to play as a Righteous Skeptic. So I will explain what that means once we get into the game. So I'm going to start, and I'm going to play as a rogue. So there are other character roles that you can unlock as you play, but you have to start as the rogue, and then you will unlock the other character roles as you progress through the dungeon. So to get the barbarian, I need to reach floor 4, which is hard enough in itself. I'm going to keep the same name because that's the default name, and then I'm going to begin. Okay, so we're on floor 1. I'm just going to very quickly explain the conducts. So I'll explain in detail what a conduct is in more detail for those who don't know. It's quite a standard concept in roguelikes, traditional roguelikes at least. And I won't spend time going through any of these. I'm just going to mention the righteous one, which is basically, essentially it's not, you just don't steal, which I guess is a minor spoiler. There are shopkeepers in this game, and it is possible to steal from them, but that's a very common feature of roguelikes. And then the skeptic one is a little bit more nuanced and vague, but there's basically a feature in the game around white flames. It's quite a major feature, but it's something that you discover as you play. So to avoid spoilers, I'm just not going to do that, which means following the skeptic conduct. So yeah, I'm basically going to try and reach the end of the game, complete the game by escaping the dungeon. And when I do that, all of the conducts on this screen will have failed basically, except for righteous and skeptic. So that's the plan. And I'll explain a little bit more about these conducts as we go, because I know it is very it's not very clear right now. So yeah, this is the beginning. We've got two monsters here, two enemies basically, a spider, and this is called a Boris. So I can press the left mouse button to attack, and I missed, and it used its turn to get closer. So it is a turn-based game. We'll see that much more clearly as we play. So I'm going to press left mouse button again to attack it, and I managed to kill it in one hit as long as it didn't miss. So this spider here is peaceful because it's not coming to attack me. So I've got a choice. I can either attack it to get XP, or I can leave it alone and just move on. I'm going to attack it. Why not? So I missed again, and then I missed again, and I missed again. That does not normally happen. So the other thing I can do is I can click on it after it's dead to pick up its corpse, and then press space to bring up my inventory, and you can see what I've got. As a rogue, I have a hammer, the armor is ringmail, and I have an archer wand, so I can do ranged attacks, and I've just picked up a spider corpse. And as you can see, this corpse is grey, which means it's unidentified. So we'll see that much more as we go around picking things up. They're not going to be identified, we're not going to know what they are, but I'll explain that when we get there. Obviously all of our starting items are already identified, and we have 2 pieces of food. There is a food clock in this game, so I'll explain that as well as we go on. Okay, so we're basically doing what you would do in any roguelike, and searching for the exit, while also trying to find as many items as we can. So here we are in another room. and as we go into the room, you can see on the map it's revealing what's in the room. So there is this guy is peaceful, but I'm going to attack him anyway. Why not? Then I'm going to kill this spider, which is also peaceful. And then we've already got two things here that you know, this is completely random, so they might not spawn. That is a vortex, which will hopefully take me to level, you know, it'll jump to a certain level higher up. I don't want to do that because I want to use the early floors to collect as many items as I can. But when you get like a bit more advanced, or you've played the game, you know, quite a lot, using the vortexes can be a really good way to kind of like speed through some of the earlier levels. Okay, so we've come across the Abaddon right at the beginning. So this guy is in a cage. Basically, this is a glass cage that you can break. Should I do it now? If I'm going to have a chance of beating this game, I'm going to do it. I need to be able to do this, so I'm just going to explain this straight away. Cages are basically a feature in the game where you can you can just ignore this enemy, right? This is one of the hardest enemies in the game, but because he's in a cage, he can't damage you or attack you. There are a few very unlikely rare ways that he can get the cage can break without your intervention, but that's rare. So don't worry about it. If you see a cage, you can just ignore it. Not a problem. But there are lots of advantages to breaking this cage. So the first advantage is that there is a high chance that the enemy will be liberated, which essentially means that all Abaddons that you meet in the rest of the run will be peaceful unless you attack them to aggravate them, and then they aren't liberated anymore. So if you can free some monsters, and let's say you free 3 of the highest level monsters, they're all going to be peaceful on the later levels, which makes the game so much easier to beat. But of course, it's just a chance. He might not be peaceful. The second thing that might happen is that he will be a thrall. So he'll be overjoyed that you freed him, and he will be on your side for the rest of the floor, and he will go around killing other monsters. And he will also be liberated as a thrall as well. When you go to the next floor, he doesn't follow you or anything, so it's only applicable for the current floor. But having an Abaddon on the first floor is a bit of overkill. You don't really need that, but I'm going to do it to show it if it happens. Obviously the third option is that he's not liberated and he's not a thrall, and then he's going to come and kick my ass because he is far more powerful than me. So let's see what happens. I'm going to right click with the Archer Wand. So what's happened is the Abaddon bows to you in grim devotion, bound as your thrall. So this guy is now going to follow me around and kill all the monsters for me if I want him to. So let's go to the next room. And we've got no monsters in here, so there's a scroll on the floor, so I can pick up a scroll. And as you see, it says Dusty Scroll. So unidentified. So I don't know what that scroll is. So I'm just going to go around collecting as many items as I can. Okay. We're seeing some pretty rare things happening on the first floor. So, how do I explain this? I promised I wouldn't do spoilers, so I'm just going to leave this for now. So I'm just going to pretend that I don't know what this is, and I'm just going to pick this up, and it is a Dusty Scroll. So we've got 2 of them. So yeah, I'm trying to think about whether to explain this. Basically, this scroll kills monsters in certain conditions, and there's so much rarity in this, but they've all come together and happened at once and killed my thrall. So I won't go any further than that. The scroll is basically called a Scroll of Sanctified Chest. So as you play, you'll understand what that scroll does. It's way too early for me to explain this, and it's killed my thrall, so it's actually done the wrong thing, which is part of the game. That's the whole point of this randomization. All these items have good and bad effects. So what's happened here is that one of the best scrolls in the game, I've actually got it twice as well, which is insane. That just never happens. And it's killed my thrall, so it's actually had a negative effect, even though it's one of the best scrolls in the game. So, you know, seeing as though I've got this scroll, I'll probably demonstrate how it works a bit later on when I'm not on the earliest floors. So for now, we'll just ignore that happened, pretend it didn't happen, and move on. And I'm going to have to kill all these guys myself. Okay, so this is a maze. So yeah, this is a very interesting first floor. Normally you don't get these until later on, but a maze is again very common in roguelikes. It's gonna make me end up draining out the food clock, and I'm gonna get hungry a lot quicker because I'm in a maze. So this is just something you have to deal with. If you are stuck in a maze, you know, if you do come across a maze, I've just got a wand. That's another archer wand, but it's cursed. So that's another thing that happens when you pick up items. They might be cursed. Yeah, so that's a bug because it should not be identified. So I'm trying to think why that would happen. I'm definitely going to have to look into that after this. So this is, just so everyone knows, this is part of this video, is I am still playtesting, so I'm going to find bugs. So hopefully not very many, but we found one quite early on because that should be unidentified. No, it shouldn't. Sorry, I'm getting confused. The archer wand is identified, so that's why it's showing it there. Okay, so yeah, I've got an archer wand and it's cursed. So I can't really use it yet, but basically what I can do is I can equip the archer wand, that's fine, and I can use it, but because it's cursed I won't be able to unequip it, so I'll be stuck with the archer wand forever, and if I get any other ones that are great I won't be able to equip them. But obviously it's not forever, it's forever until I find something like a scroller for remove curse, or there are other ways to remove the curse as well, which hopefully I'll come across and then I'll be able to explain them, but I'm not going to explain them unless I come across them. That's the rule. Okay, so I am lost in this maze right now, which is a bummer, but we'll find the exit eventually if I can just get me bearings. So I'm just looking at the map to see where I've missed. What on earth? Here we go. This looks like it might take me somewhere. Yeah, that's going to take me back to where I started. So that's not very helpful, but we may as well go this way. So I can go down this route. And this is another chest. So here we've got a potion, first potion I've got. So as you can see, that's unidentified. So potions are kind of like one-off items that you can take that usually affect yourself as the player. So potions of health, potions of invisibility, whereas a scroll is more kind of like a magical effect that can affect not just yourself but anything in the dungeon. Scrolls are just more interesting in general, to be honest. You want to get as many scrolls as you can, but potions are still very important because they heal you and they can enchant your weapons and things like that. Okay, so that spider dropped some gold as well, which you automatically pick up. We found the exit, and there's a Boris over there, so I'll just kill the Boris. And that bell that just sounded there is a warning sign that we need to get a move on. I won't reveal what it is until it actually happens, but just so you know, when you hear that bell, it's a warning sign, and if you don't know where the exit is, you need to find it quickly. Just don't explore anymore, just find the exit. But seeing as though I've already found the exit, I'm safe-ish. The thing that's going to happen could cause me problems still, but because I know where the exit is, it's much safer to just explore, and I'm pretty much done with this floor anyway, so I just want to make sure I get this. And seeing as though we're close to it happening, I'm going to just wait until it spawns, because if I can press M to see much more of the map. Yeah, so I really don't want to risk exploring that maze anymore, so I'm just going to go to the exit. Oh, here he is. Okay, so just before I went to the exit, it's happened. So if you take too long exploring, certainly on the early levels, this will happen. And basically what happens at this point is that the Reaper spawns and hunts you down, and if it finds you, it will kill you. So as you can see on the map, the bottom right there, the skull, it's not exactly easy to see, but there is a skull, and if I just rest, I'm going to press the R button to rest, which is basically a way of healing, but it also ends my turn, so you can see the skull is getting closer and closer to me as I rest. And we'll just keep doing it until it gets close enough that we can see it. Hello, Reaper. There we go, he's trying to attack me with his ice bolt. So there he is, that's the Reaper. So if he gets close enough to attack me, he'll probably one-shot me, so I need to get to the exit and go down as quickly as possible. So the Reaper is appears quite early on the early floors, but he's quite, as you go deeper into the dungeon, the kind of timer for when the Reaper appears gets longer and longer, so you don't have to worry as much, but it's always a concern, especially if you're in a floor where there is lots of danger and you're taking your time to figure out how to get through it. But this is probably a good time to explain like the turn-based system, because you don't, like right now I'm not in any danger of the Reaper. The Reaper timer isn't going down right now. It only goes down when I make a move. So for example, if I press the R button, you'll see it says you rest a while. So I've used my turn to rest, and every time I use up my turn, that counts down the Reaper clock. It does the hunger clock. There's all sorts of other clocks that are going on in the game, but they're all turn-based. So I need to find an enemy to show you the rest of this. But as I move, this is the other thing to mention, as I move, I'm using up turns as well. But I can move for a certain amount of time before it uses up a turn. So it's much easier to explain this with an enemy. So here we go, right? That spider has just used its turn to move towards me. Now if I just tap on the forward button, the W to move forward, but I just tap rather than hold it, I've used up a turn. So as soon as I use up a turn, it uses its turn to get a bit closer. But if I hold down the back button now, S, I can actually move a certain amount before my turn is used up. So it's kind of like a pseudo real-time turn-based system where I'm moving around in real time, but behind the scenes it is actually using up turns. And each time I use up a turn, that will basically drain down the Reaper clock in order to eventually spawn it, and it takes longer the more you the deeper you are in the dungeon. So I hope that makes sense. I'm going to rest again. So one of the obvious things to do in the game is rest to let that spider come towards me. So it's used its turn to get closer. So I always hit first, which would give me advantage if I didn't miss, but I missed. So the other thing to mention for those who don't know, the hammer that I've got at the bottom right of the screen, you can see what's equipped. So it says +1/+1. So what do those numbers mean? The hammer's quite a good weapon actually. It deals quite a lot of damage, but it's all random. So even though I think the maximum damage can be something like 18 or something. No, not 18. It's a bit less than that. I think it might be 8 actually for the hammer, or a bit more. Anyway, actually I can just show you that rather than me trying to guess. It's in the not the menu. So you can press escape to get the menu up, or you can press tab to get the codex up. So much information in here, but the thing I wanted to just check is the weapons. So the hammer, 2d4. So what that's saying is it's a dice roll. So it's going to roll the dice twice, and it's a 4-sided dice. So the maximum damage you can do is 8, but the minimum damage it can do is 2, because it's going to roll the dice twice, and you could get 2 ones. It could roll 1 twice, if that makes sense. So that's what the hammer does. And then the +1, the first +1 is a bonus that you get for free because it's a starting weapon. But if I find another hammer, it might not have this bonus, so it's completely random. And you can increase the bonuses by enchanting weapons later on. So +1, the first +1 is the chance to hit. So my hammer you can see it's missing quite a lot. So if I increase that number, the chance of it hitting is going to increase. And then the second one is the damage. So maximum is 8, but the maximum for mine is 9 because I've got a +1. And again, I can increase that number as well. Okay. So here we've got an enemy. So yeah, just to mention, I can wait for it to get close by resting, and then I can attack. And I've leveled up here. So this is another thing that happens when you kill monsters. You get XP, and then the more XP you get, you eventually get to the next level, the next rank. And you won't have noticed, but what that does is increase your maximum HP, and it increases your normal HP as well. So my maximum HP now is 22, and my health has gone up to 19. You can see that in the bottom left. So there's another scroll just lying there that I've picked up. Right, so I'm going to get a move on now. I've done enough talking. I need to make some progress, or else I'm never going to beat this game. Okay, so I'm just going to kill the Boris. and there is another caged monster, so I could free that monster. I'm not going to, because if I keep freeing monsters, they're gonna eventually I'm going to get one that's dangerous, and he will kill me. Actually, I'll do it one more time because I've got 22 health. I'm going to rest. So if the more I rest, you can see at the bottom left my health has gone up. So it was 19, now it's the maximum 22. So with 22 health, I'm pretty confident I can beat this guy. I mean, I already know that, so I should have really just done this first. And he's friendly, so there you go. It's worked out. It's not. I don't have to worry about fighting him, and I'm not going to fight him because it would be a dangerous fight at this level. But just to show you, I can go into the codex and I can click on monsters, and this guy is a shade. So just so you know, the way that you reveal monsters in the codex is usually by attacking them. That's what reveals them. But if you free a monster from a cage, it will reveal them in here as well. So we can see all the details about this guy. He's got a special, and he can turn invisible, and this is how much damage he can do. So he can do 16 damage because he's going to hit me twice. So if I've only got 20 health and he can hit me twice and get me very close to death, but it's a dice roll, so he might only cause 2 damage because it's a dice roll, even though his maximum is quite high. But I don't have to worry about that because he is friendly. So just to very quickly show you, I said I wouldn't talk as much and I'm still talking away. Where is it? I keep going at the wrong menu. Sorry, that was the codex. Press escape to go into the menu. There's a kills tab which shows you all the monsters. It shows you how many times you've killed them. And you can see here that the shade, which I haven't killed because I've just freed him, is liberated. So what this means is that every time I see a shade going forward, he will be peaceful, which is a massive help. And the Abaddon is also peaceful, which is also going to give me a good chance of getting through this, because the most likely way that you're not going to escape is by coming across some of the more difficult monsters later on. There is something that I need to that I would normally explain here that I can't explain because it's a spoiler. So I'm just going to proceed on the pretense that I am expecting to see these kinds of monsters later on. But as you play, you realise that there's a bit more going on. There's a bit more to it than that. Okay, so there's, I think that's a longsword. That's a rare longsword. So this is going really well. This is a good run. That is also, normally when I open chests I just click twice to take it straight away, but this is kind of like the reason why you shouldn't do that, because this is a special chest with skulls in it, which is obviously turned red. If I try and collect that gold now, it's going to spawn the Reaper immediately. But I've also got me exit. So here's an interesting one. That gold is far more than what you would normally get. So I'm going to get quite a lot of gold by taking this. So I've already got the exit. I'm on floor 2. Do I take the gold and run to the exit, or do I explore this dungeon? So just for the purposes of this run, where I'm trying to beat the game as quickly as possible, I'm going to take it, because I'm going to get a lot of money and I'll be able to get some items from the shopkeeper, hopefully. Whereas if I explore this floor, I could be damaged. I could hit a trap. I might not even find that many items. So I'm going to hit the left mouse button to take the gold. So as you can see there, I've got 4k gold, which is a lot of gold for this game, just from taking that. But it's also spawned the Reaper. So he's on, as you can see on the map, he's at the top. You always see the Reaper icon even if you haven't explored that part of the dungeon. That's why he's in the middle of nowhere. Which is really helpful because you know how close he is and how much time you've got to find the exit. I've already found it, so I'm just going to go to the exit. That is a secret. Have I got time to go and get the secret? Oh no, it's not a secret, sorry. I thought it was a secret, it's just a door. Ignore me. Secrets are very important because they have rare items in them. So that's why I was thinking I might try and get the item from the secret. So this is probably a good time to explain. I'm just looking around to see if I'm in danger. So this guy is a zombie, and he is pretty dangerous for this early on, so I'm going to have to be careful of him. But just quickly to explain the rift. So this thing here, you always spawn with this thing except on floor 1. And if I might have to kill this spider first, hold on, I'm going to make sure I'm safe before I do this. I'm going to have to kill this guy first as well, before I talk about this feature. So the zombie has been added to the codex. And I killed him eventually, but he did cause a bit of damage, and I've ranked up because I've killed him, and he drops 10 XP, so that's a lot more than all the other monsters we've met so far. Okay, so you can see this golden arch. This golden arch is the rift. If I move around a little bit, the rift closes, and there's another monster coming to get me, so let me just kill him first. So basically that rift, I'll show you on the next level, but that is how you save your game. So when you're trying to escape the dungeon, you're probably going to do it in one session, but if you do need to leave the session for whatever reason, you can select that while the rift is active, which is not anymore, so I can't do it now. While it's active, which is just for the first few turns on the floor that you're on, the start of the floor, you can create a save. It will allow you to enter the rift, which is what the golden arch is called, and save your game. You can exit the game basically and come back and continue from floor 3, but things won't be exactly the same, so you might end up with a different layout of the room. That it's usually going to be the same layout, but there are differences intentionally. So the whole point of that is that you don't know if you're going to get a worse situation when you come back, and when you do come back, the save file is deleted. So this is quite typical in roguelikes. It's a way of, saving isn't supposed to be like a checkpoint. It's supposed to be just there as a convenience for if you need to take some time out. So I'll explain that a little bit more when we use it. But for now, I'm just going to fly through this floor because we're only on floor 3, and the goal is to try and beat the game. So I can't get that scroll because I'm full. So I've got a lot of scrolls. I've got a weapon. I've got some potions. I've got a spider corpse that I don't want, so I'm just going to demo this. I can basically throw things. So if I want to, I can throw corpses at enemies as well. That's another valid way of playing. And it can corpses do cause quite a bit of damage. I think it's 8 max. So that's something to bear in mind if you haven't got any good weapons, or you're just looking for a way to use ranged weapons a bit more. I haven't used ranged yet, so I'll use that now, just to demonstrate it. But because I got rid of that corpse, I can now pick up the scroll. And as you can see, I'm not using any of these yet. For the first, I would say at least the first 3 floors, you just want to go and collect as many items as you can. And just to mention, this is a dark room, so as you can see on the map, it doesn't reveal the entire room. You've got to like move around to reveal it. That's another common feature. So it just makes the room more dangerous because there could be a really high level monster in there. Not yet, because we're only on floor 3, but dark rooms get much more tricky later on. Okay, so let's try and get through this floor quickly. I'm going to use the archer wand as well because I haven't used that yet. We've got a shop, so I'll tell you about the shop first. So this is the shopkeeper. Looks pretty mean. He's not very happy, grumpy guy. He's called Midgull. If I click on him, I can buy items from this shop, and because I used that Reaper chest on the previous level, I've got enough money to buy some cool stuff here. So I could sell. I'm just going to click to the sell because I always go to the sell menu first because there might be something I want to get rid of. And let's just see what we've got over here. So definitely want to get a wand. Wands are the most powerful items in the game apart from some of the scrolls, so you want to get a wand if you can. And rings are also very powerful, so I need 4k really to get the ring, at least the ring and the wand. The shopkeeper can sell food, which is really cheap, so you always get the food from the shopkeeper, but he doesn't have any, so I'm not going to be able to do that this time. So I think what I'm going to do is, I've got an archer wand already. This archer wand is cursed and it only has 6 bolts, so I'm going to sell that. By the way, Midgull likes cursed items, so he gives you a little bit more money for them, just so you know. That's another little tip. I'm not going to sell anything else. I don't know what any of these are, so this is very normal, and you can kind of guess by how much they are, but to try and prevent what's it called when you use the shop to identify items, I forget the term, it's got a term, but it basically, you can kind of like guess what your items are because of the cost, and there are ways that I've incorporated into the game, just basic things like some dud items have a high cost, just to kind of like temper that a little bit, counter that a little bit. Sorry. So yeah, because I've got a lot of money, I'm not going to sell anything else. I'm just going to buy, if I can fit it in my inventory, I'm going to buy the wand, and I'm going to buy the ring, which I can't fit in my inventory, so I need to do something. Just so you know, you can find bags. I haven't got a bag yet, but bags make the inventory management a lot easier. They basically let you store items. They have magic powers, so you can, which you don't know, and you don't know what they are at first because it's unidentified. But once you identify the bag, you can then use these special features on the bag as well. But it's regardless what the bag is, unless it's a dud one, it's also going to let you store more items. So hopefully we'll come across one of them soon. So I need to do something here. I'm just going to use a scroll. So I want to get away from Midgall, because sometimes scrolls can have weird effects. Dusty scroll, let's try that one. I should have realised this. I knew this from floor 4, that the Dusty scroll was that fancy Sanctify scroll. So yeah, I've just wasted one. So that laughter was basically taunting me to say you shouldn't have used that. But I've got 2 of them, so it's very rare to get 2 of them, but I've got 2 of them. So by using it, I identified it, and because I've got another one, it's now identified. So also, just to show you, you can go into the journal, and that will show you everything, what the identified version of everything is, as you identify it. So now we know that all Dusty Scrolls are Scroll of Sanctified Chest, and going forward it'll just say Scroll of Sanctified Chest. And we haven't got many other things, so in fact that's the only thing we've identified. Everything else is our starting item. So now I've got an extra slot in my inventory, so I can go and buy that ring. So rings are one of the things in this game where you do not really want to equip them until you know what they are. So I need to find a Scroll of Identify or an NPC that I'll demonstrate to you when we find her. She's called Feora, and she helps to identify items. So I'm just going to keep everything until I can identify them. But you can also go up to the chest here, and you can purchase them here. It's nicer to go to Midgall, because then you get to see everything at once. But you can do that if you want to. Okay, so now I am going to try and get through this floor quickly. So this is a white flame. So this is one of those things that I said I wouldn't talk about much because it's a bit of a spoiler. But I can turn them off. So if I turn that off and then I go into the menu, so you can see in the conduct menu already we're losing all these conducts because we're not following them. These are the extra challenges that we are just ignoring. We don't care about them. We've still got quite a few, but Skeptic is the one that's associated with white flame. And I'm not describing what this does. I'm just saying that when you turn off a white flame, that's not the same as using it. So it's okay to turn them off. And I will be trying to do that, but I'm not going to explain why. It's just something that I'm going to do in this run to give me a chance of actually completing it. Okay, so now we have 3 enemies and we have another NPC. So this guy looks like a monster, right? So this is one of the things you have to be aware of in DeAnima, is that not everything is out to get you. As you can see from Midgall, it's a bit easier with the shopkeeper because he is surrounded by chests, so he looks like a shopkeeper, unless you aren't aware of that. So maybe on your first go, you will still try and attack him. You can attack these guys just like any other enemy. You can't melee them. I'll show you that in a minute. But you can I could right click now to fire a bolt at him, and that will make him angry, and he will come after me, and he will kill me in one shot probably because I'm not powerful enough to fight this guy. But you don't want to fight everything you see in this game. One strategy for losing is to fight everything, especially peaceful monsters. If you see a peaceful monster later on, they get pretty powerful. So if they're peaceful, leave them alone. Also, these guys are the NPCs, and you don't know what enemies are. Sorry, you don't know what monsters are NPCs when you're starting out. So always be cautious. And if you get close to a monster that isn't coming at you, and the cursor turns yellow, the reticle, turns yellow, then you know that it's peaceful. Not only peaceful, but it's also friendly. I'll just quickly show you that in the menu. there's a map, so this just shows you the map that you already see in game, but it's also giving you a legend, so that's very useful for new players. And you can see here that a blue tile on the map is a friend. So these guys over here on the map, these enemies, these are the enemies, the red ones, monster. They could be peaceful, but they're still red. The only way that you know they're peaceful is because they aren't coming at you. So I can click on this guy, and that's why I can't melee attack him, because when you interact with him, he will talk to you instead of allowing you to hit. But you can attack them with wands, with scrolls that are dangerous, with the archer wand, of course. So this guy is basically saying, well, got something to enchant, hurry up, I have no time for idle chatter, it'll cost you 200 gold pieces. So this is allowing me to basically increase these numbers. And you can see I can also do it on this longsword, but the longsword isn't identified. So if I do enchant this one, it will increase one of the two numbers. It's random which number it increases, but you won't see what the number goes up to because you haven't identified the longsword yet. So I'm going to do it on the hammer, and as you can see, he says, done, the magic's bound, leave before I regret helping you. So you can only use it once. You can only use Valak's services once. He's called Valak, and it's randomly increased one of these, and it's happened to do it on this one. So now my hammer, the maximum damage it can do is 8, but now the maximum damage is 10 because +2. But remember, it's a dice roll, so I might roll a 3 and then it'll cause 5 damage. I might roll a 1 and it'll cause 3 damage. So that's how that works. So as you can see, that first spider is peaceful, so I'm going to ignore him. Once you get to a certain floor, you want to ignore these guys as much as you can because they only give you 1 XP and they might cause some damage. And these zombies, sorry. This guy actually used to be called a skeleton, so I keep referring to him as a skeleton, but he's not now. And I think I just missed. Can you see on the map there how there's like a dark grey? That indicates that there is an item there, so I do not want to miss that because that's a wand. So I definitely want to pick up that wand. So just so you know, I can throw some items. If I throw a potion, it will break. So don't throw potions, but if I want to, I'm not going to do this, but if I want to, just to demonstrate it, if I want to move things around in the inventory, let's say I've got a bag and I want to move things around, I can throw the sword on the floor and it'll just stay there so that I can like move things around and then I can pick it up again. So I just wanted to demonstrate that, but I am not getting rid of that sword because I want that. So this is one of the things that happens in the game all the time. You've got to use unidentified items even though you don't want to. It's designed that way. So what do I want to use? I'm going to try and use a potion to see if I've got, like it might end up being a good one. It might be health or something. So yeah, it wasn't a good one. So it's a potion of full healing that I just got. So let's just go into the menu because it tells you on the right hand side all of the like the activity appears, like the activity messages appear on the right hand side, but they disappear after a few seconds. So if you want to see what you missed, you can go into activity in the menu and then you can kind of like move around, but I'm just going to look at the latest. So it's basically saying you feel weaker even though I got a potion of full healing. So what that means is that the potion of full healing was cursed. That's another reason why you don't want to use unidentified items. So it makes me feel weaker. If you look at the bottom left, there's a strength attribute. So that does impact various different things, like the chance to hit, the amount of damage you're going to cause is going to be reflected in the strength, but it's not a 1-for-1. It's not like every single number is going to add something to a bonus. It's something you learn throughout the game. It's very similar to Rogue. For anyone who's played Rogue, it works exactly the same. But because I drank a cursed potion, I've now dropped strength to 15, which is going to make me not as strong in battle, which is unfortunate, but that's the price I pay for using an unidentified cursed item. Okay, so we've come across another item here, which is a special item called a tome. So on the first, I think it's the first 9 floors, there will be a tome somewhere on each level until you collect it, and then they're done. This is something that does not continue over multiple runs. So there is no meta progression in this game, but these tomes are kind of like knowledge based. So let me collect that tome now, just to show you. So this tome is, it says 2 out of 9 there, so I must have done one on a previous run, because this is the first one we found on this run. And this is kind of like meant to be mysterious, so I'm not going to explain what this is. It's just something that you're supposed to learn over time. It's supposed to be mysterious, it's supposed to be cryptic. This word is supposed to be cryptic. What the hell does that mean? And these dots and this shape means something, but it's like you gradually learn what it means by playing more. It's kind of like a puzzle, but it's not like a normal puzzle where you have to like solve the puzzle to open doors. There's none of that in this game. It's more like a riddle or a mystery that you uncover over multiple runs. So I won't say anything more about it other than you can go into the codex to see your tomes. So I've got 2 tomes right now and it's showing them here, and this, as I fill out the tomes, they're going to appear over here. So yeah, bit of mystery, don't know what they do, it's not important right now. So we've found the exit here, which is good. And I've got another scroll, so I'm gonna struggle here, because every time I wanted to get something, I'm gonna end up having to use something. So I'm gonna use one more scroll. Okay, so that has teleported me to a different part of the floor. So I was up on the top left there where the exit is. I've just read a scroll of teleportation. So that's kind of like, it depends on where you are and what the context is, but obviously knowing that I've got a scroll, if I go into the journal, I can see now that I have the stained scroll is a scroll of teleportation. So even though I didn't really want to teleport here, I now know what a scroll of teleportation is, and if I go to the shop it'll say a scroll of teleportation. So that's the benefit of identifying items. So it is good. It's good that I know what that is, but now I am miles away from the exit. So again, it's not too bad because it's early. It's I'm on an early floor, so I'm trying to identify items. I'm trying to find items. So it's not the end of the world. I'm literally at the point now, because I've teleported to a different part of the dungeon. I just want to show you this. So as you get close to a wall, the reticle turns yellow because there is an actual door behind that, and you don't necessarily know that if you're not close enough. But when you go into a room, you can press E to examine, and basically that's examining for traps, but it's also examining for secrets, and there are, every now and then you'll find a secret door. So that's something to be aware of. The reticle can be a bit of a hint, so you don't have to examine all the time. You can just walk up to walls and see if they're going to turn, and you'll only find one door per wall. So that's another thing that's taken from Rogue, and that means you don't have to go up and examine every single wall. The other thing that happened there is that as I moved, I eventually wore down the hunger clock, so I am now starving. So you don't want to be starving. Once you can, when it says that you're hungry, that's just a warning. You don't have to worry about that. But when you're starving, what that basically means is that every few moves, you're going to lose some health, and the main reason that you don't want to be starving is that the HP does not increase. So when you're normally walking around, HP regenerates. When you're starving, it doesn't. So I want to eat something now. So I'm going to eat some food, and now I'm back to normal. So as you can see, this is a dead end, so I don't even know why I went in there. So I need to go back the way I came. But as you can see, as I move around, the health is going up. It just went up to 26. So that doesn't happen when you're starving. Yeah, I said I wasn't going to talk as much on this one, but I have, so I'll probably end up doing that a bit later on, because there's so many things happening. I'm going into a maze here, so I'm going to avoid that. Don't want to get hungry again. And there we go, there's the Reaper coming, so it's time to go to the next floor. Where is it? Here we go. Okay, so we're on floor 4, we're making good progress. I'm going to demonstrate the rift now. So if I move around a little bit here, if I kill this guy, I'm going to lose the chance to use the rift. If I click on it now, actually I'll just come out just so you can see, it is a golden arch. It's just because I'm so close. So it's telling me, do you want to activate the rift and return to the main menu? I'm on floor 4, so if I say yes, all it does is take me back to the main menu. I can leave the game, it's created a save file. When I go back in, I'm probably going to be in a different area. So it doesn't change the floor drastically, but it usually does change the floor that you're starting on. That's intentional. So that could be good or it could be very bad. And I can't use it again. So the only way that I'm going to be able to save now is to get to the next floor. I can't exit the game. If I exit the game, it ends the run. So that's just the way it is in this game. Some people will not like that, but it's part of the roguelike formula. So there's another wand here. So I definitely want the wand. I'm getting a lot of wands, which is awesome, but I don't have anything in my inventory. So I've just used a potion, which ended up being a potion of holy water, which what that does is it will bless a random equipped item. So it's blessed my archer wand, which is amazing because that's increased the number of bolts, and a blessed archer wand will cause more damage. So that's awesome. That's what I needed, really. And now I can pick up that wand. Here's another tome. Oh, I just went into a trap as well. So this is a paralysis trap. So I can't move, I can't do anything. All I can do is press the R button to rest, which doesn't really cause me any harm when there's no monsters around. But if I went into a paralysis trap and it said like press 8 times, every time I press the rest button, all the monsters around me are going to get closer and they're going to start attacking me. So the paralysis trap can be very, very dangerous, but it's fine here because there's nothing here. Another tome. And we've got this mysterious crystal here. So what the hell does that do? I can click on it and it does that, which is basically doing a word in capitals and then loads of gibberish. So this is another example of kind of like a mysterious mechanic in the game that we don't understand yet. So I'm just going to leave that. So I would say this is where it's starting to get a bit harder, but this is probably another floor where we can just go as fast as we can, get as many items as we can before it starts to get really hard. So I just went through another trap, but this one is actually a positive trap because it heals me. I'm already fully healed, so it doesn't make any difference. But as with everything in this game, this can be bad because this also heals enemies if they go through it. So we don't want them to go through it, basically. And this guy is a new enemy called a ghoul. It was a little bit more powerful than the rest, and he just raged. So some enemies can rage, and what that means is that their next hit will be a critical. So he just scored an excellent hit on me, and I'm down to 12 health, so I'm in trouble now, but I've got a health thing here, so I'll just go through that. But now the ghoul has generated health as well. So I'm back to 29. He's got more health, but I'm sure he'll be a little bit less than full. God, he's probably going to kill me here. There we go. I got him, not too bad. And I got to rank up as well, so that's good. And I'm going to leave that enemy off in the corner, ignore him. I'm missing all the time, that's just totally random. Like me hammer's quite good, so it shouldn't really miss that often, but it can. It's just the look of the draw. So yeah, I've got a lot of mazes here. Damn it. Okay, another wand. So I really need to find a bag because I'm getting stuck here. But I can't just leave it. Like, I hate doing that, but I've got a full set of inventory and the scroll might not be as good as what I've already got. So the best thing to do is just leave it until I get to identify some items. And I'm stuck in a bloody maze now, so this is... I'm killing all these guys. Here's another NPC. You don't want to kill him even though he looks very evil. So I'll just see what he's got to say. Not very happy. He is the unmaking, the blade that severs the eye from the flesh. Bloody hell, he sounds mean. All races, all masks, yours, theirs, dissolve in my shadow, wear a beast's skin, bring it to me, and I'll snuff its kind from the tapestry, returning you cleansed. Do you wish to doom all of your kind? So, is this a spoiler? If you hit yes, your game's over. Don't do that. This guy is another example of a bit of a mystery that we don't understand yet. It's fine, just ignore him. Not a very happy dude. So here's another item. We're saying all the stuff very quickly in this run, which is awesome because it gives me a chance to explain it, but it does mean it's taking me longer. So this is a divine conduit. So basically you don't know what this does right now, right? You've just got to try it. That's what you do with a lot of things in these games, these types of games. So if I say yes to this, it's saying hidden balance is restored. What the hell does that mean? Figure it out as you go. Obviously, if you played these games before, you probably have an idea of what this means, but I won't spoil it here. And there's a ring, just a random ring lying there. I always want to pick up wands and rings, and I'm getting like some really cool loot here early on, so this is going to really help me beat the game. So, parchment scroll, I want to read. The scroll vanishes and you feel weaker. So again, that's another cursed item, which it's quite rare. So I'm getting some luck, but some bad luck when it comes to the cursed items. And this is a dark room as well. So let's go this way. Oh no, I'm going the wrong way. Hold on, this way. So now, this is a special room. So the special rooms always appear in the center of the dungeon. I'll just bring up the map. This, for anyone who's played Rogue, this is pretty well known. But for those who haven't, the dungeon is always kind of like a 3x3 grid. Starting at the top left, you've got 3 areas, and then you've got the next row 3 areas, and the next row 3 areas, roughly. The way I've done it in this game is that I have some variation on this. So it's still kind of like always a grid, but sometimes you don't always get all the rooms. But the center room is always where you will find special rooms. There's like 5 or 6 special rooms, and they're always in the center. So you pretty much always want to check out the center to see what's there. In this case, what we found is a zoo. A zoo is completely harmless. You can just ignore all these monsters. But basically, it's the same as what I said before about a cage. If you do free them, you're going to have a chance of liberating them. But if they aren't liberated and they aren't a thrall, then they're going to pretty much kill you. So what I would always do at this stage is find the exit first before I try and do anything with these guys. And then I might go back, or I might just go to the next level. That's just a dagger, so I don't want it. So I'm basically looking for the exit now, and then I might go back to the zoo. And there's the Reaper as well. So yeah, this is not looking good, because I haven't found the exit, and there's a chance that the exit is going to be in that maze, and I'm going to get the Reaper. So I do have a Scroll of Sanctified Chest, so I might have to use this, which would be cool, but it's a bit early. Let's see if the exit is in that corridor I didn't look in. Nope. The exit is going to be... Oh, hold on, there's another one. There's another one. Let's see. I'm starting to get hungry, and the Reaper has just appeared. So you can see in the map the Reaper is not far from me. What am I going to do? I need to find the exit, and the exit is going to be in that maze. God damn it! Like, that's the worst thing that could happen. I've uncovered most of the maze, so it might not be too bad. Actually, no, I'm so lucky that's the exit. So I don't have to use anything. I don't have to use the best scroll that I had. I can just go into this exit. There you go. That was lucky. It's going well. Oh, there's another NPC. I can't really use him at the moment. Don't know what he does. I'll just ignore him. Here's a vortex. Do I want to use that? Okay, for the purposes of trying to get through this as quickly as I can, I'm going to use it, but I probably would not use this if I was doing a normal run, but I'm going to try and do this as quickly as I can. So basically the vortex is a portal that takes you to a random floor, but it will always take you from more than one floor. The downside of using a vortex is that it has a chance of claiming one of your items, which is a bummer, but let's see what happens. So I have jumped to floor 8. God damn it, that's way too far. And it's claimed one of my wands. So that's probably the worst thing that could have happened. It would have been nice to go to floor 6 or something, because then I would have had more time. But this is probably good for this first video, because it's going to demonstrate how hard the game can get. But I am not in a good position right now, because I'm on a hard floor and I don't have enough items. Like, I would like to have had a bag with, so I could have stored more items, and I need to identify these before I can use them. Really, I can use the wands because when you use a wand, as soon as you use it, it identifies it. So it's good that I've got 2 wands, but they only have a certain charge. So even though it's good, it's still not as good as it could be if I had more items at this stage. And I need more health, really. Like, I need to use the floors to rank up gradually rather than be on floor 8 with only 42 health. And that's the adventurer rank, which is not high enough. So let's see what happens. I'm going to start having to be careful here. So that's a spider coming to get me, so I'm not worried about him. Those guys always appear in the dungeon. They don't disappear even though they're an early enemy, so that's good. You know, sometimes when you go into a room you might get spiders, which is very lucky. So this is another example of that mysterious crystal. We don't know what that does. It's a lot of gibberish right now. There's a monster, you can just see his eyes. So this is one of the things where you've got to decide, like, is that a bad guy or is it an NPC? Do I attack it? If I fire an archer one now, it's going to tell me in the right hand side what it is. So I'm going to take that risk. It's a zombie. So I can, as it comes towards me, I can just use the archer wand. And because it's blessed, which I forgot actually, being blessed is going to give me much more of a chance in this being on floor 8. Okay, so I shouldn't say this because I'm like giving it away, but I know that sound is not good. So there's a monster over here. I want to get on the other side of it before I show you what it is. But I don't think he can see me. So there's a monster behind there. He can't see me, so he's not going to come at me. But he will see me at a certain point. So if I go this way, he won't see me. Okay, so that's good. So this guy, so basically behind there, I'm pretty sure it's a troll because of that sound. I don't want to go around there and find him because if I'm being chased by a troll at this stage, I'm probably going to lose the run. I'm probably going to die. Trolls are the worst enemy in the game by far at this stage. They get much more advanced as you go on, but certainly even at the later stages of the game, trolls are still difficult to beat. So you want to be wary of them, just like in the original Rogue. But this guy might be peaceful, he might not be. I'm not risking it. I'm going this way. If I go this way, he'll probably see me, so I'm going this way. And there is no special floor. Oh my god, okay, there's a deadly hand. So I've got 2 of them. I should not have just walked into that room. Like, that's stupid. So what do I do here? So these guys are a pain in the arse because they will drain your armor. So my armor's at 9 right now. And I've got 2 of them, so that's a very bad place to be in. But can you see what I'm doing here? Like, when it's my turn, I don't have to worry. I can do whatever I want. I can take all the time in the world. I can look around. I can look at my inventory. I'm wondering if I could use a scroll of teleportation to get me out of trouble, which is probably a good idea. So it's a question of, do I use it now or do I save it for when I'm on floor 9 and floor 10, which are much worse? I'm going to risk it. I'm going to risk trying to fight them because I'm at health 45, so it's worth a try. What's this over here? And that's a bag. I don't know if you can see that, but just in front of the brazier there's a bag. So that's brilliant. I need a bag because I don't have enough room in my inventory to add more items, which is annoying. So some character will start with a bag. And obviously you might find one earlier on. I've been unlucky not to find one. Yeah, so I'm just gonna, there's no point, like in some games you can just go into the corridor and hope that like you get one at a time. So that is going to help me a little bit because he's behind, but unlike in other games, he can come round here, so I'm going to get 1 extra chance. So it is better to be in the corridor, but it doesn't have that much of a benefit. So I'm going to attack. It attacks me. They're both hitting me. So he's close enough to hit me, so I was wrong there. He's not going to come round here. If he was a bit further away, he would have come round, but he's close enough to attack me. But they both missed there. I've killed one of them. He's missed. He's missed again. He's hit me there, so I'm down to 32 now. And I've killed him. So they can steal, they can rust your armor, but neither of them did there. The monsters who have specials, the special is randomized. So if you fight enough of these guys, you will eventually lose some armor. But I was lucky there. And now I can get a bag. So rather than get rid of these things, I can just put them down. So let's just take that. Hold on, I'll come out here and just do it a bit nicer. So I'll look at the ground, take my long sword, throw it on the ground, then I'll pick up the bag. Now I can't pick up the long sword, but I can start putting things in bags now. So the first thing, whenever you get a bag, because this isn't identified, the first thing you need to do is put something in it that ideally is not very valuable, but I don't know. So I'm going to pick the potion, because that's most likely to be the less valuable, but that could be a very valuable potion, I don't know, because I've got to wing it. And now I go into it and I take it out. So that's the way that you test whether the bag's cursed. If the bag's cursed, you can't take anything out. So now I know that it's not cursed, I can start putting things in it. So I just came out of the bag. Why did I do that? Back in the bag. I can put whatever I want in this bag, but it's got a maximum capacity. So because it's unidentified, I don't know how many things I can put in it. Once it's identified, it tells you. So I'm going to put the wands in it, rings, all the stuff that I care about the most go in here. And yeah, it's full. So I can only put 4 items in. And just so you know, when you go into this, when you pick an item in a bag, you can use the fancy magical thing associated with that bag, but because it's not identified, I don't know what it is. So I could take a risk and try to use this magical feature, but I don't know what it is, and it could be bad. So I'm not going to do it. I'm going to try and identify the bag first. I'm just going to use it as a place to store things, and then later on, once I've identified it, I'll be able to use its power. Just to give you an example, there's a bag of charging. So if you have a bag of charging, put a wand in it, it'll recharge your wands. And they only have a certain number of charges, so you can't use a bag like that forever. You can only use it a few times. But that's something I'll save for when I get back to that. Now I can pick up my sword, and I've got a potion of holy water. So as you can see, because it's identified, it tells me exactly what it is. So the more I identify items, the better. This guy is annoying. He's a Gullen, and he's quite powerful. So I'm going to let him come to me, and I'm going to try and hit him. I should have used my archer one there, actually. I don't know why I'm not using it. So now I'm down to 14 health, so this is not good. I'm going to teleport. I'm just going to use the teleport to get out of here. So if I read that, then I can rest. I'm starving as well, so that's not good, so I need to eat some food. And then if I'm resting to get my health back up, so if I get it back up to 30, that's not so bad now. But as you can see, I'll just rest one more time. If you look at the map, every time I rest, that Gullen is getting closer to me, because I've only teleported into the next room. So now, what I need to do, just the other thing to mention is that you can trip and fall over, which basically slows you down. So when you're running away from a monster, if you trip, you just the monster gets closer to you. So that's another thing that happens. So yeah, one of the strategies in these games, it's very common, is to create a loop. So if I had a loop with the room that's missing, I could just walk around that room to gain health while the Gullen is following me. But I can't do that because I haven't opened those rooms. So what I should have done before is use the archer wand at this stage. Don't know why I'm not using it. So that's got 11. Now it's got 10 because it's blessed. So I should definitely be using this, and it's got 32 bolts, which is way more than normal. So I'm going to make sure I use it. If you're wondering why I'm going fast, I can press the shift key to turn on fast play. Down at the bottom left there's a little arrow, so if I turn shift off and on, it's turning on fast play. So what that does is speed up the game, but it's not like a sprint. It speeds up the game for the enemies as well. So it's just literally speeding up the entire game if you want to get through corridors quicker when you're safe. So there's another tome. As you can see here, I'm in a dark room, so I can't tell what's over there. I can see there's something over there, and I'm pretty sure that is an NPC. So I will enhance. I'm going to enhance my armor this time. So now my ring mail is +2, which makes my armor at the bottom there 10 instead of 9. And I've got another cage. So this is a Cullis. This guy is not very nice, to put it bluntly. They are very annoying, and I don't want to risk freeing them. I'm sorry, mate, I can't risk freeing you. You're going to have to stay in there. at this stage. I'm too far forward. So now I'm back to the beginning, so I don't want to go through there. So just look at the map. I want to be going off to the right. And there's the exit. So I'm just going to see what's in this room. Oh, it's a maze. Yeah, I don't want to go into a maze, so I'm going down to the next floor. So I'm on floor 9. I'm doing well. So all I've got to do is get to floor 10. And then I've got to escape. So I've still got to escape through all the floors that I've been on. But once I've got the crown, I can try and escape. And it's like Rogue. Once you've got the crown, you can... as you go further up the floors, it gets easier. So the challenge is to get the crown and then get past the highest floors. And then once you're back down to floor 6 or 5, it's pretty much... you've done it. But there's always a chance. There's always a chance. And if you get cocky, you won't do it. So this guy's coming at me. So I need to kill him. And now he's going to do a critical. So I killed him before he could do his critical. Got another zoo. So you can see it's a good way to see the enemies. There's quite a few very, very difficult enemies. This is one of the hardest, called Bane. He's like a Jabberwock. This guy's the equivalent of a Griffin. He's called a Satya. I always pronounce that wrong. Satya. This guy is very, very difficult to beat, but I am not going to free any of those guys. Sorry, it's too late in the game. Got a shop, which is perfect. So no food, which is a shame. Another scroll of sanctified chest, not cheap. What do I sell anything? Definitely don't want to sell anything. See how much the bag's worth, because it's selling. You're selling all the stuff inside the bag as well. But I want that stuff. That's all me ones. I don't want to sell that. So what am I going to do? I'm going to get the mail because I want to have some backup armor. What's me? Let me just check. What have I got? I've got ring mail. That's better armor, so I want to get that. Definitely. So I want to get that because that's better armor than what I've got. And then I may as well get this and this. Get that one first. I can afford both of these, so I'll just get them both. But I have not got enough room. So what do I do here? I can use the potion of holy water. I may as well use it now. It's going to bless one of these. I haven't used it yet. I thought I'd just used it, but I haven't. So now my hammer has been blessed, which is awesome because that's increased both numbers, and it does more damage sometimes based on some behind the scenes numbers. So that's awesome. So now I can pick up this potion, and we don't know what that does, but I still haven't found Fiora. So she's quite common, and she appears quite commonly is what I meant by that. But yeah, I haven't come across her yet, which is just unlucky. Another tome. So if we quickly look at the codex, you can see we're building up all these tomes. We have no idea what they do, but that's fine. Okay, so this is a hellhound, not very pleasant. Let him come to me. This guy will drain my strength, I believe. I just check the codex. Hellhound, where is he? Hellhound drains strength. So can do quite a lot of damage. Has high HP. So this is probably the hardest monster we've come across so far, except the ones in cages. But luckily he wasn't that hard to beat. So the reason that's happened is because the the Boris that was there was a Boris just in front, and he came towards me and went through a trap. So he's vanished because that's a teleport trap. So he is in another part of the world now. I think he's probably the guy in that corridor just down from me. So he hasn't teleported very far. He's down there, but on the other side of the door, so he can't get me now. So I can go through that if I want. In fact, I probably will just to demonstrate it. So that's the teleport. Oh, but look at that, man. Why did I do that? So I've teleported right next to a troll. Don't know what to do. 52 health. I should be using the longsword really, but it's not identified. So I could run past it, but he will always get me. He does 3 attacks. I'll just show you the troll. I don't know if I haven't unlocked the troll yet, so I've got to attack him at least once to be able to show you him in here. I'm going to try and go. What I'm going to do, this is stupid, but I'm going to try just to see if it works. I'm going to try and use the zoo, because here's me thinking. There is a high chance that the zoo is going to free a monster that becomes my thrall, and then that thrall can attack the troll on my behalf. It's a long shot, but I'm going to try it, because I'm pretty much screwed here. Like, I could try and fight him, and I would normally, but I'm trying to get as far into the game as possible, so I don't want to risk it. So yeah, I'm going to do the thrall. Let's see. So I've got to open the door, which is going to use up a turn as well. And then once I've done that, so let's see if I can do that in one go. Yeah. So I move forward and open the door in one go. So he hasn't had a chance to attack, but he's going to attack me on my next turn. So what I want to do is free a powerful monster that's more powerful than a troll. This guy is not more powerful than a troll. This guy is, but I want the Bane in front, so I'm going to navigate in here. Let me just do this. Oh, I've got the Boris as well. Go away, Boris. So now I've got the Boris and the troll, but I'm going to free this guy and hope that he's a thrall. And he's not. So the troll has hit me once. No, twice. The troll hits twice, and he's gained health. The trolls can gain health as well. So I'm going to do it one more time. Let's see if I can get this Bane to be my thrall. No! The Bane is not happy with me. So now I've got a troll and a Bane coming after me, and it's game over basically. I cannot beat those guys. And the Griffin... No. I've freed the Griffin first. Sorry, I'm panicking now. So the Griffin is liberated. So he's going to just stand there. He's not going to help me. He's just going to stand there. What I was hoping would happen is that he would turn into a thrall, which is when they become kind of like similar to pets in other games. So I'm going to run for it. That's the only option I've got, is to run for it. And I'm going the wrong way. But it's also helping me to increase my health. So I am increasing my health here. I do have a kind of loop, so I could just keep looping around here, and I can go through that teleport, and that will get me some distance from them. So that's actually quite a good idea. But they might come through as well. Teleports don't always take you to the same place, so even if they go through that teleport, they haven't gone through it yet. So they're all... I'm at the bottom here now. They're at the top, and they're just... I don't know what they're going to do. Are they going to go through the teleport? No, they're trying to go back because they think it's going to be quicker to go back because they can't open doors. So they are not going to be able to come straight down the middle because the door's closed, thank God. I'm glad I didn't open that door. So what do I do now? So I could just furiously search for the exit while I'm down here, but I'm going to come across other monsters. So what I really want to do, I've got a Scroll of Sanctified Chest, which I mentioned at the beginning is a very powerful scroll. I'm going to try and use that now, but I need a chest. So I'm hoping that I'm going to find a chest in this room, and I'm not. So that guy looks very dangerous, but he's not. These are enemies. This is an NPC. So he actually gives me food, which I want. But I'm being chased by these guys, and they're quite far away. So I'm gonna... Oh, I've just been hit by that zombie's attack, ranged attack. So I'm making mistakes here. Yeah, I'm making a lot of mistakes. Luckily he died straight away. I can talk to him, so hungry 100 gold, I'll toss you some rations. So this is... Hegor is very cheap at first, but this amount will increase. So while he's cheap, I want to get the food. I didn't even realise there's a troll over there, but I'm guessing he's peaceful. So he is not coming after me, thank God. So now the only hope I've got is that the next room has a chest. and not trolls. I've got to get into the door to see what's in that room. There's no chest. So just got to hope that guy's peaceful. So there's people, you can see on the map, there's enemies trying to get me, but the door's closed. So I'm safe for now. Deadly hand is not good. So I'm just hoping that I'm getting very low on health. I'm missing all the time. Yeah, I've got 8 health now. Got 8 health. So he could kill me in the next go. The only option I've got really is to go the other way, which is a shame. So the deadly hand is now following me, as you can see. They follow very closely, same speed as me. Not all of them. I just went through a poison trap. So I am now poisoned, but also the deadly hand is poisoned, which means if I hit it, I will kill it, because poison really damages, to be fair, poison damages enemies more than it damages me. So just a tip to remember, if an enemy is poisoned, the next hit that doesn't miss will probably kill it, because it is very low on health when it's poisoned. So that was very helpful. This guy, I forgot about this guy. I'm very low on health. And there's the exit. Oh, they're standing over the exit. God damn it. Oh. I should have just stopped on the exit. And I've got an enemy that way as well, so this is not good. Because these aren't, normally I'd be using these, but they're not identified, so it's going to be a last ditch thing. I could try using a wand. I'm going to try using a wand. Let's see what happens. So take out, I can't take it out because I'm full. So yeah, so you can move around items in your bags, and you can move around things in here without using a turn, but as soon as you equip something, it uses a turn. So I will get attacked, and I'm on 10 health. So I'm very close to dying right now, so I can't get a wand. Because my inventory is full, I can't get a wand. So another tip is to not have full inventory. Always keep it one empty, just in case something like this happens. I'm going to attempt to run past this guy. I don't know if he's peaceful, actually. Probably not. He is. He's peaceful, thank God. I don't care about the Boris, he can't do much damage. But there's no goddamn chest. I've got to go this way around. I've got to go the long way around. And I've got another Boris. I don't care about them. And there's a secret door. Oh, there we go. Okay. I didn't even look at the map to see if the troll was there. So I made the fatal mistake of panicking when things got bad. There was probably lots of options I could have done there. I could have tried and used one of the items that were unidentified. That was probably a better move. I could have been more careful with the way I was looking at the monsters on the map. Like, I knew that troll was there and they'd been, so I knew I shouldn't have gone through that door. Stupid. The other mistake I made was that the inventory was full, so I should have been prepared for that, and I should have had one of those ones equipped before I went into those rooms. So yeah, there's probably a million other things I could have done differently, but that was my first attempt at trying to beat my own game, and I failed miserably. Although, to be fair, I got a lot further than I thought I would. So I'll leave it there. I will be doing more of these videos because I'm going to try and attempt to beat the game on the run up to release. I'm hoping to release the game soon, but I'm still in play testing mode, so I'm doing these videos as a kind of way to play test while also showing people what the game is like, and hopefully you like what you see. If you do, please check out the demo. There's a free demo on Steam now, and let me know what you think in the Steam forums. I'd love to. All the feedback I get is incredible, and it really helps to shape the final game. So yeah, I'll leave it there. Thanks for watching.